Write the vision, make it plain. So when others see it, they can run with it. I gave you a vision, to give to this world, engraved in your heart. Since you were a little girl, let me be clear, it won't disappear. No need to have fear, 'cause I'm always near. Believe it'll come to pass. No longer doubt. If you want it, you gotta act. My word is true. My word is do what I said to do. I cannot lie. I cannot lie. But I cannot move until you do what I said do. Get your pen and your paper and let it proceed out of you. There are people waiting to receive what you have. It's been orchestrated. No more procrastinating. Write your vision. Believe it'll come to pass. Believe it'll come to pass. So long you gotta act. My word is true. My word is true. What I say.
Hello, everybody. Hello. Good evening. Hey, y'all, listen. This is day three of our journey from vision to impact. Listen, I am still full from the last 2 days, okay? So today, I don't know what's going to happen. I really just don't know how I'm going to be on this live tonight. Listen, for those of you who do not know me, my name is Marquisa R. Williams, and I'm the CEO and founder of Elevate Leadership Enterprises. And really, Elevate Leadership Enterprises, we are a leadership development and organizational consulting organization. And we really walk alongside of leaders. We want to develop them individually as well as within organizations. We partner with churches, we partner with small business owners to help them with their own leadership development, and also to help them to execute their vision. So that means there might be systems that need to be put in place that, guess what, leader, you may not have time to do, or the people or resources to carry it out. So Elevate Leadership absolutely helps you with writing those systems out, helping you to identify leaders within your organization and those that can help to carry your vision. So we are all about strategic planning, all about all things leadership at the end of the day. And we really want to make sure and equip you to be the most successful organization or individual that you can be. One of the things about Elevate Leadership Enterprises is, we identify that no one is cookie cutter, right? Everyone is created uniquely. Every organization has different needs. And our motto is that we create the blueprint for your leadership success. So when you think about blueprints, there's no blueprint that's exactly the same, right? And so we want to give you customized service for the things that you need. So excited. That's enough about Elevate Leadership right now. But I'm just super excited about the lineup for tonight, for the word that's going to go forth, the empowerment that's going to go forth, all the things that we've experienced over the last couple of days. So first night, if you missed it, you need to go back to either my YouTube channel or right here on Facebook and check out Deetra Trueheart, who was our first guest, and our topic was vision. And we asked the question, how do we handle the vision when we recognize it? How do we handle it when we see it? What happens, right? And so many gems, so many nuggets were dropped in that session. And then on yesterday, we had two of our sister friends, Pastor Gina Crawford and Elder Danielle Paul, who just slayed us about strategy. And now that we had the vision, now what do we do with it, right? What do we actually do with it? How do we bring this thing together? And so it was such a powerful session. I encourage you, you need to watch it. You need to watch both sessions. And so on tonight, I have two other sister friends. Listen, the kingdom is full. This world is full with some powerful sisters. Listen, this is Women's History Month, right? All things women. Nothing against the brothers. We need y'all too. Absolutely. But it's our time. This is our time to shine and to be noticed for the awesome things that we are doing in the earth, right? And so the idea or the concept of this leadership lift series was to showcase the women who are doing some awesome things, have a diverse group of all kinds of fields, education, all of it, right? And so just super excited about these two women that are going to come. But before I introduce them, I need to remind you that in order, right, for this vision to be carried out, for you to have a strategy, the first principle that we spoke about was to write it down. To write it down, write the vision, make it plain. Listen, I call it, look, and sometimes it's a brain dump. We get caught up in perfect sentences. It's your notes. Only you know what you're hearing from God. Only you need to understand what you're saying in the book. So how do you do that? You can absolutely take advantage of some of my merchandise, mainly my bundle that I'm really focusing on in this particular series, where you actually get an actual journal, some encouraging words from me to encourage you to write the vision and make it plain. And also, listen, I know I need to set the atmosphere when I need to sit down and listen and to stay focused. So why not get a tumbler? You get a pen with this whole deal. So I need you to go just as fast as you click on Amazon, because I click quick on Amazon. I need you to click on this link, and I'm going to ask that we put this hyperlink in the chat so it's easily accessible, because I'm not sure how many people will be able to capture it from the screen, but we'll put that there for you to click on the link so you can go right to Elevate Merch and get your journal or two. So that's my little commercial. But I encourage you, you have to start somewhere, and you have to start writing it down. We can't keep this stuff in our heads, right? We can't remember it all. Amen. So just wanted to highlight that, but I'm not going to labor long on this, because I want you to meet my sister friends. My sister friends on tonight. So tonight I have I have Apostle Jeanette Vaughn, and I have my sister girl Kelly Collier Clark. So if we could, we're going to give them a round of applause as they come up. I want you to see their beautiful faces. Hey, y'all. Hey.
Hey.
Woo-hoo. Yes. Listen. I'm excited about y'all. I was sharing, even over the last couple of days, how relationships are so important in this season. And I know one of the themes that Apostle Jeanette has been challenging us in this season is to connect. Don't think I don't be watching.
Come on.
I watch. I pay attention.
You get an A+.
Yes. Now, if you could just put that on my paper, that's coming up in a couple of weeks.
Well, okay.
Yes. But to challenge us to connect in this season, we cannot carry out our vision alone. We just cannot. We were not built to do this, be on this journey alone. And so the connections are important. And I'll tell you, and we that right for Apostle Jeanette and I, we have never met in person yet, but we've been rocking and rolling and supporting. Yeah.
Wow.
A lot heavy this year. And but we did some things. I don't know if you recall on the Periscope days.
Yes, I miss Periscope.
I know. It was so easy. It was awesome. And so I used to, watch your periscopes, or we used to call them scopes. Watch
Scopes.
your scope. And used to chime in on some of my leadership lists on Monday mornings. And so the journey just built from that. And she's been a huge support in this doctoral journey. Even before I even got the acceptance letter, I was like, I need to talk. And so that was just amazing that connections can happen anywhere.
Yes.
God is so amazing that way.
He is.
That we don't have to be right next to somebody to connect.
Mhm.
And so, yes, it's just been this awesome journey. And so Kelly, my sister Kelly, so technically, well, we did grow up together. I'm older, yes. Her brother and I are closer in age, and my sister and Kelly are closer in age. But nevertheless, we were young folks.
Yes. Yes.
And we reconnected over the years, and we stayed connected.
Wow.
Ever since. I mean,
Yeah.
ever since.
Yeah.
So, we know about each other's families, all of that. But to see Kelly evolve into the woman who she is today absolutely blows my mind.
Thank you.
So it's just been amazing just to watch my sister friends doing them. Listen, no hating, no nothing. Supporting when I can, sewing when I can. Just an amazing thing. Listen, Kelly well, I'll let y'all talk. I don't want to steal your thunder, what she did for me. You got to introduce yourself first before I tell it. But I want to give my sister friends an opportunity to share just who they are and what they do. And I'll start with Kelly, and then we'll bring back Apostle Jeanette.
Okay. I'm trying to think where I should start. So let's see. I am the owner of Plot Twist Design, which is an interior design firm. I am a realtor part-time, and I also just launched about maybe 4 or 5 months ago, Plot Decor, which is an online decor boutique. And those are the things I do outside of my corporate career. So I also have a corporate career that I've managed to hold down of over 20 years, and 15 years in particular in my current role in current company. So that's really sums up what I do 24/7, in addition to being a wife and a mom.
Listen, that's enough. Let's
It's more
rewind
than
that.
enough.
Let's rewind that just for a minute. Let's rewind that. So yes, you said interior design?
Yes.
I think I read something or seen recently that I forget the term now, it just escaped me. Like you're a trend setter in the designing world. What is that term? I saw it.
Oh, yes, a style spotter for 2022.
Yes, tell us about that.
So I'm glad you asked. Thank you. So basically, since I started 3 years ago, I should say, I've been really intentional about wanting to do influencing. And so, to make a long story short, I want to say in 2020, I did an Instagram takeover, which I believe led me to this opportunity, it's an opportunity you have to apply for and be accepted. And then it's a paid influencer position. So essentially, it's a team of style spotters that you're on for the whole entire year. And at spring and fall market, the difference is that they're paying for you, your flight, your hotel, and everything to come down there. And you're actually essentially sharing things that you love at market to show, people your style and things like that, and share new trends in the industry.
That's what I'm talking about. Can I just drop the nugget that your discovery? So you have these your designs. You have pillows, you have things that's accessories. And one of the things that I saw, again, scrolling on Instagram and checking you out, was that a famous person actually had your pillows in their display, in their picture. Can you just tell us who that was and what happened and how you discovered that?
So it was some table decor, and the way it came about was one of a fellow designer in New York reached out to me and said she needed some things. She was shopping on my website and she needed them quickly for a project in LA. So you know me. If I can help somebody, I'm gonna help them. So I said, if you could place the order, I'll go to my office tonight and pack it up for you. And she did. I got in my car, went to Bluebell, picked up the order, got it to her, stalked this package, hoping it would get to her in time, and it did. And fast forward a couple of weeks later, I just so happened to see something in somebody's story with Issa Rae sitting on a sofa, and I saw my decor on the table, and I saw the designer who brought the stuff and who did the project. So although it may seem like a small piece of the pie, it's not, because it just opened the door for so many other possibilities. And you know, as a Christian, Marquisa, that when you see other people being blessed, you get excited because you know God is no respecter of blessings. I mean, so that I get goosebumps just talking about it, because I literally started crying because I was like, all of the things I've been speaking into existence, this is part of that puzzle coming together.
That's right. Yes, yes, yes. So we celebrate you and all the things that you are doing. So thank you so much for sharing some of who you are, and I can't wait to hear what you have to say about this execution piece. So let me just move on.
Thank you.
And we're going to bring in Apostle Jeanette. Please, sis, share us who you are, what you do. Just share.
Well, Kelly done got me excited when she stated about giving, and we'll talk later more about that. But that is a key piece. I am known as, I have several titles, Apostle, Lady J, Apostle Jeanette. But I'm excited to be here. Where do I begin? I begin with, I have a supportive, awesome, handsome husband for over 35 years. This year will be 36 years. And we were blessed with 5 miracle babies. And then on top of that, I got to have 2 amazing adults come into my life. So I have another daughter and another son by marriage, and 2 beautiful grandbabies, a girl, Alani, and a boy, Jeremiah. And so that's where I start, because that's my foundation. I'm like I stated before, I'm an apostle. I'm a pastor, senior pastor at a church my husband and I founded in Corning, New York. This year we'll be celebrating 24 years. And in the midst of all of that, I've been an educator, as a teacher, as an administrator. And lo and behold, as I was teaching, the Lord said, hey, I want you to start this women's organization and make it legit. Because he know me. I'm like, I'll do what you tell me to do. But he was really writing the plan. And so I am the founder and the CEO of Women Reaching Women Global. We've been established over since 2014. We started, and the Lord has just allowed us to flourish in what his vision was for the organization. I am now currently wrapping up my last semester of coursework for my PhD at Pepperdine University as a global leadership of change. And I am excited about that. When I first started, I wasn't, didn't have a clear vision, but as I continue to trust God and move in faith with him, it's just amazing. I'm at that phase of where I'm writing my first 3 chapters of my dissertation, and I'm looking forward to not so much finishing, but walking this journey out and seeing what God has in store for me. So I'm excited of the journey that I'm on, because I'm not by myself. I am with God and with a whole bunch of women that they're phenomenal. So that's me.
Yes. Listen, that's a whole lot right there. You got, businesses, churches, PhDs, wife, all of that.
Yeah.
And God is just amazing in that he gives grace to do it all.
Oh, thank you for your grace, God.
It's certainly a grace.
Yes.
To do it all. Mm-hmm. And we have to acknowledge the fact that no, we can't do it without him.
No.
And I like what you said. Listen, this is what he told you to do. Cool. And
he's the boss.
He's the boss. He is the boss. I said continuously last night that God is the master strategist.
Yes.
He knows exactly what he is doing. We
Amen.
just have to follow his lead, and that's it. That's all.
That's it.
Yeah. Now that sounds simple, right? You know, sometimes we're talking to people, just follow it. Just follow the just follow the blueprint. Just follow the cloud. Let's just, listen.
Sometimes you can't even read it. You can't even read the blueprint. Haven't seen a blueprint before, but God,
Exactly.
the Holy Spirit is such a mastermind that
He is.
if we trust him, he will lead us and guide us.
He
Allow us to understand something that we may not have a clue about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's really how I think this journey, right? That's why I was intentional about saying this is a journey, because there's so many there are so many one moment many people who are watching, and I've been saying this each and every day, who think we woke up like this. It's truly a journey. And I said, sometimes my knees is knocking, but I'm still moving.
Right.
I'm sweating. Listen, you got to know you in this situation.
Right.
Listen, if you got to bring, fence, extra water, whatever it is, because when you're nervous, your adrenaline is rushing. You're like, I need to do this with God. All right, God, this is what I'm going to do. Knees knocking, bring your water, bring whatever you need, but still go. We heard we got to went on Monday, right? We got to went. Because God knows he's already ahead of us. He's already ahead of us, and trusting God in the process is absolutely key, right? Is absolutely key. So he is the master strategist. And I love how he does, gives us vision, even at an early age. Sometimes it comes back to us when we're older. And Kelly, I remember so much of our conversation as well.
Yep.
Because this started way early for you, this whole design thing. It might have took you by surprise.
It didn't actually. I never thought I would be doing it professionally, or as a business owner, but I've always had the love for it, for sure.
She absolutely is gifted. I mean,
Thank you.
She wrecked in a good way my bedroom. It's actually a suite. It's not a typical.
Yeah,
it's a suite.
Okay.
She can capture vision and lay it out. That's a gift. That's an absolute gift. So just sharing some of the unique dynamics and how God just lays things out, even as an early age, and how it comes to fruition, even when we get older, right? And so it's never too late. We spoke about that yesterday. It's never too late to give to execute your dreams, execute the vision that God has, because life does take us through some things. Sometimes we do put it down, but we don't have to keep it down. And so we got to be ready to lock arms with our support, our sister friends, and keep it moving and keep it pushing. Because I think Elder Danielle said, we need her. We need her. And a few good men. Again, I'm not excluding the men. Listen, my husband has been taking behind the scenes shots all week. Shout out to my boo.
Yeah.
Who supports me. Yes, to my boo. That he's been taking behind the scenes shots as we're setting up and doing some things that each and every night. And so I'm just praising God for the support, even of a few good men, right?
Yes.
And so just grateful for that. And so I think it's time we can get into our subject on tonight, right? Which is, right, execute or execution. And I just want to give the definition for those who are watching. And those who are watching, get your questions ready. Get your questions ready. And we'll put them up on the screen because we want to make sure that we're addressing your questions. Each and every night, someone has been blessed by the responses to their questions, and we're getting testimonials daily from each night of how these sessions have been really empowering, empowering us to carry out the vision that God has for us. So make sure you get your questions ready when when we're thinking about execution. And so the definition that I noticed for execution is the carrying out or putting into effect a plan, order, or course of action. The carrying out or putting into effect a plan, order, or course of action.
Mhm.
So when we think about yesterday, we talked about, strategy, right? That's putting some things together. But when I think about, and I think strategy sometimes and execution can overlap.
Mhm.
And when I think about execution, I think about putting feet, bringing the vision to life, bringing that plan, whatever we designed, whatever we mapped out, whatever that plan is, and giving it life, making it visible so that others can utilize it, others can see it. Not that we do it right for show, it needs to live. It's something, right? Vision is sight.
Yes.
And so we bring this vision, this plan that God has for us um, before the people. Write the vision and make it plain so that those who read it may run with it.
Mhm.
And part of in my opinion, and is, part of the running with it, right? They have to see it. So that means it's some execution on my part,
Mhm.
right? Whether it's communicating the vision, teaching it, developing all of those things so that the vision can be carried out, not just by me, by those who are reading it. So a lot of us, we have people that report to us. We got to make this stuff plain so it can go. Because
Mhm.
guess what? We ain't gonna be the only ones doing this stuff. I am already locking in some folks who's going to help me with more marketing strategies. All that I don't have time no more. But I'm able to articulate the vision so that the vision can be fully executed in the way God has shown me to do it. And it may not always be directly through me in some cases, right? So I think about it in that way, carrying out the plan. So I'll tell you, I had a conference a couple of years ago, my very first in-person conference. I always did stuff online, and I was like, all right, I gotta do this conference, right? And I'll tell you, I had an awesome team. They, they followed everything to the letter. And I was, not that I doubted that, but to walk in the room to see the vision laid out down to the music, the people, the everything was laid out. I was like, the vision is living. I had to turn back around. Like, is this real? Like, this real here? What's happening? It was such it just it just knocked it just blew me away, and I could only give credit to God because he is the one who gave me the details. He gave me the plan, and when it was laid out, oh my gosh, I think Kelly, you were in the room. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to do with myself at first. But it just blows your mind when you see the vision come to life, and I
It
think
does.
that's what execution looks like on the tail end, right?
Mhm.
So enough about my story, but I like to share my story always, as the segue. So I'm going to have Kelly share, what is your journey? What do you think? Any thoughts that you have concerning, execution? Just tell us what's on your heart, and what you've been thinking about as, we've been preparing for execution this week.
So when I think about execution, the first word that comes to my mind is five. Actually, I have five words, right? Um, and I'm gonna try to keep it brief because I'm not sure how much time we have. But it's really a combination of five things. When I first hear the word execution, what I know is going to happen is you're going to lead from a place of giving, of serving, right? Um, and this is not just with a service-based business or vision. To me, this is with anything in life. But I'm gonna say the five words and then I'll just be brief about each one. But for me to execute properly, you have to have faith, courage, adaptability, grit, and endurance. And Faith might be obvious for us as Christians, but honestly, it's not always, because it's normal to have some fear creep in sometimes, because we normally innately will fear the unknown. But that's where our faith comes in, right? To actually work that strategy that you have. Courage is when you have to believe in yourself, right? So faith, you're believing God, but courage, you're believing in yourself. You are enough. If and you have to truly believe that if God gave you a vision, then you can do it, right? And then for adaptability, we got to remember that to do something different, you are going to have to be willing to be uncomfortable, right? So to me, adaptability means being okay to adapt to whatever this new business is, whatever the new thing is that's happening in your life. You got to be able to pivot, right? You might have to rework your strategy. You might have to go back, pray about that vision. But you have to be willing to truly be uncomfortable. And that leads me to grit. You have to be able to work hard, period. You have to put the work in. Work, I mean, faith without work is dead. That's something I say a lot. Um, and then lastly, endurance, because it is a journey, just like you said, Marquisa. And you have to also remember, for me, is you have to remember that nothing happens overnight. When I was younger, I used to pray for patience because I was impatient. And God gave me some moments where I had to learn how to be patient through those lessons. And so endurance, that's what it's about. But also remembering it's your race and it's your pace. So you have to be willing to do and have all of those things and probably more. But those are the top 5 things that come to my mind when I think about executing.
So let
I know that was a
you
lot.
no, you're not gonna just drop that and roll out. Not at all. Not at all. Listen, I've been taking notes all each and every night because I'm gonna have to regurgitate some of this stuff and live it out. So when we think about it, you said faith. So you gave us faith, right?
Mm-hmm.
Believing in God. Listen, Kelly, I listen to you all the time. I always be like, I promise you I'm not a stalker. But you truly do drop nuggets. You may not realize it because it's just who you are, right?
Thank you.
And you talk about your faith journey. You always acknowledge God. I don't care what setting.
Absolutely.
It's a boldness that you have in certain settings that I'll say that I didn't have even in for a while in the corporate space. You know, we know how
Mhm.
corporate is. We've been rocking in
Yep.
corporate for 20 years, right?
Yep.
God's going to deliver us one day, but he hasn't saw fit to pull us out yet. But anyway,
Not yet.
not yet. You still speak about your faith, and that is really what enhanced or pushed you into doing all the things that you do, designing, being creative. That didn't you recognized that it didn't come from you, just from this is
Right.
all Kelly,
Right. No.
right? You give him all the glory for that. And so that's a key point. And I hope all of you are taking notes. Take these words down. Faith. So the first step was we need to believe in God. We need to believe in him.
Mhm.
To that's the first and foremost stage, right?
Mhm.
And then even with the courageous part, that part,
Yes.
you said what? Believe that
You
you're
got to
enough.
believe in yourself.
How did that come about for you? Was it always that way? How did you grab that?
So I'm going to say yes, because I've always, in some situations, I've been an underdog, right? Meaning I'm going to go for the job that you need a degree if I don't have a degree, right? I don't care, because I'm going to feel like this experience here equips me for what I want, and also God's favor, right? So for me, it's a demonstration. And also, when you get of a certain age, God is going to demonstrate things for you. And once he does, you don't have to do something for me 10 times to make me a believer. All you got to do is deliver me one time. And
Yes.
that's it. And I'm sold out. And we grew up in church. So therefore, my entire life, I had to be courageous in different situations. And so it spills over. I show up with every part of me at work, every part of me in a business, unapologetically. I'm gonna walk in the room like I belong there, and people might roll their eyes and talk about me, but I don't care because I know who I am, right? So, and like you said about corporate, I will say this: it's important because people try to stifle that kind of stuff, and you can't do that because even with the Pledge of Allegiance, the things that happened over the years that changed, some things and people had to write, but it's the freedom of speech. If you're going to be ashamed of God in front of people, you already know what's going to happen. I'm not playing with him. So guess what? He going to get all the glory. I don't care who don't like it. And that's that.
Listen, look, you got my palms sweating. Hold on. What was that? Listen, walk in the room like you belong there.
Absolutely.
That part.
Yep. And it's not
part,
easy.
no.
I'm not going front like it's easy though. Let me be clear. I want to be fully transparent because you got to do that scared. Even if you're scared, that's where the courage comes in. I ain't saying I'm not scared or I'm never nervous. I'm just saying I'm going to be courageous and do it anyway. So it's a two-part forward with that.
Yes, that's exactly, and that's the point we're trying to make in these 4 days is that yeah, we do it afraid, and we walk, and it's not and I will be clear because there could be folks who still might underestimate, walking in a room, like we belong there is like we're faking or putting on a mask. That's not it.
Right.
It's really walking in faith,
right?
Knowing what God has set before you,
right?
And just walking in with that. Not that you're like, yeah, I'm, whatever.
Right.
But I want to clear that. I needed to clear that because there could be people who may think that it's a facade or something that we do, but it's a faith walk, walking in that room.
Yeah, it's a faith walk. You see, it's a cliche that we see all the time. Faith it till you make it. Faithing it. I got a t-shirt that I did my first photo shoot in that said faithing it or something like that. But that's really what it is. You hit it on the nail for me.
Absolutely. Now we going adaptability. We got to pivot.
Exhale. Yep, because nothing typically goes according to our plans, right? We get this strategy, we get our direction from God, but it's not always going to be foolproof. We know it's going to be things that are going to happen in business or ministry, at work, whatever that looks like, things are going to happen. So you had to be able to be adaptable. And for me, you know me personally, and you know that I've experienced a lot of change in my life. And I understand why, because change is not, I don't flinch over change. It's okay. You can't grow without change. So you got to you have to be willing to be adaptable to execute something.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you, sometimes God does give us the plan. He'll lead us to a place and the circumstances change. He'll say this, do that. And you're like, that's not what we talked about.
Right.
I went exactly how you said it. And now I'm here.
Right.
Move with me. That pivoting is important to follow God wherever, right? Everything is not going to be exact all the time. And again, God, okay, when we see the opportunity to pivot, we ask the question. I love that we can have this dialogue real time with God. Like, wait a minute, I'm here and I don't see the people. I don't see the whatever that was supposed to happen here. He says, right. Yep. Just walk in the room and do X, Y, and Z. So that pivoting, being adaptable is critical. Oh my gosh. Kelly, I'm about to go off a camera in a second. This is too much. This is too much. And let's talk about the grit piece. Explain grit, and let's have some more conversation around grit.
So grit is really, for me, it's simple hard work, period. And I think that, the generation that's coming after us, that's a challenge for some of them, right? Because even some people in our generation, some people want, microwave popcorn, right? Usually things that come fast, they're not going to last. We all live through some of these things, but grit is just simply being able to put that faith into action, right? And it goes back to the faith without works being dead, but grit is not just half behind in it, right? It's not. Is working hard, being tired. I started wearing concealer sometimes or glasses because I got tired of people telling me I'm tired or I look tired. And I'm like, I am tired. It's called hard work. I'm building something, right? So you have to be okay with doing that if you want to execute.
Absolutely. So you helped me with my whole situation with my glasses. Listen, this conversation is so prophetic right now because I wanted, listen, I was trying to match you with my fun glasses, but I couldn't tolerate my ring light is not cooperating. I got to get some work done in my fun glasses. So I put these on because listen, these eyes is tired. There's reading, there's studying, there's all this stuff. They're tired. But it's grit. I love that. I love that. So that's a practical, you're giving us a practical understanding of all of the powerful points that you made. And this is something that we can just, carry out because execution is absolutely necessary in the season. What's the point of a vision, seeing something and
right,
it just falls flat?
exactly.
And we'll talk about impacts tomorrow, but how in the world are we going to do these things without executing strategy, all that stuff, if it's laying dormant
That's
and
right.
nobody knows about it? But it's grit. And I think about consistency with grit.
Yes, being consistent, that leads into the last word, which was endurance. But being consistent is one of the hardest parts, right? And enduring is one of the hardest parts because waking up doing the same thing every day, for those who have a routine, that's probably easy. But I have a job in such a way that I manage my own schedule. That's something that God did to me for a reason, right? So if I don't do certain things are not going to happen, right, at work, and I need my job to eat, right? So when you live like that, though, that spills into a business. So I know for a fact, if I want followers, I gotta post, right? I don't always feel like posting. I'm tired of doing reels. I be literally like thinking about what I'm gonna do a reel on next, right? But the truth is, you have to be consistent because you're going to get results, right? If you be consistent. Also, people start to expect it. People are looking for you. People, when you build like a community, a tribe, or customer base, whatever that looks like for you, they're looking for what you're about to do next. They're used to you coming on here with a word. And the funny thing is, back to what you said earlier, I posted this long, basically sermon type caption and yesterday and today, and I had more engagement than any design post in quite a long time. Because you say the things that people be thinking but don't want to say. So that endurance, back to that, it's about really just understanding that nothing happens overnight. You gotta you better get your order, do what you gotta do.
Yes, yes, yes. I love it. I love it. I love it. Y'all put some hearts up for Kelly on tonight. She dropped some gems on us tonight. I am so grateful for this conversation. Listen, y'all, this is not the last y'all seen of Kelly. Absolutely not. I pull her in whenever. And I'm so grateful for your yes. I'm so grateful for your yes. Because I know that you're
Always.
busy, so I'm grateful.
Well, thank you for asking me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problems. No problem. So Apostle Jeanette, come on in the room.
Hey.
Hey, listen.
Yes.
Look,
I'm back.
I'm like
shooting up hearts. Yes.
yes, I'm shooting up hearts on my phone. I'm engaging while I'm talking. So some awesome gems that Kelly
yes.
Shared on tonight, and I'm just encouraged. So share with us about your journey about execution, whatever God has laid on your heart to share with us on tonight.
Well, awesome. I want to share. I don't know if you all know about Merriam-Webster. Okay, let me tell you a little bit about what Merriam-Webster says about execution. Basically, as Marquisa has said, to carry out or to put into effect. Well, Merriam-Webster added to carry out fully, fully, okay? Put completely in effect. So adding those two words, or adding that word of fully and complete, really sums up execution. What it does is, it, as Marquisa said, it put feet to the vision, it put feet to strategy, right? Execution is about action. A lot of times we can write a whole bunch and we can strategize in our mind, but we don't put action to it. And that's where, when Kelly was talking about faith, that's the action. That's the action that you have to put to that vision, to that strategy, is your faith in it, your belief in it. And, you know, let's be real. For us, without God, that plan, that strategy is nothing. Because the word clearly tells us what in Proverbs: commit to the Lord whatever you do, and he will establish it, right? There's a point of trust. So you can't say you trust God if you don't have faith. That's together. That's, you're believing him. So therefore you're going to move out in the vision and the strategy that God has given, right? Suppose one of you, want to build a tower. This is in Luke 14:28, right? Won't you first sit down and establish the cost to see if you have enough money to complete it? If you don't, what you're going to do? You're going to put some action to it, right? You're going to figure out how you're going to get the money, and then you're going to start doing it. Most of us, we work. We started off in another area, and whether it's education, whether it's corporate America, the reality is that's the money that helped fund us to do what God has called us to do, right? So guess what? Also in Proverbs 16:9, it says, in their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. Let's get that. Establish their steps. That's an action. That's not just sitting talking, oh, I want to do this, or I'm gonna write this, or I'm gonna do all of this, and there's no action behind it. Proverbs also 15:22 states, plans fail for lack of counsel, but with many advisors, they succeed. Now, let me just share a little bit. When the Lord first dropped that in my spirit, it wasn't nothing new. I had been working with women for a while, and I didn't really want to work with women. That's what I had convinced myself, which was a plan of the enemy, because he knew what God had planned for my life, right? And so as soon as God said that to me, the first thing I did was to call three women that I knew would catch the vision and run with me. So even though my name is attached to founder, they came alongside of me and they believe the vision that was given. Okay, so you have to execute. You have to be able to communicate the strategy. Why? So that others could run with it, right? And that's a key piece. Sometimes we're scared to do that piece, to communicate the strategy, because we may not have it as clear. Now, the women that were around me, they're the bot. They the what you call it bomb.com. I have to give a shout out to Carissa Diggs and to Pastor Deidre Burchett and Charmaine Catan. They came along on the deck as I was sharing with them the little bit of the vision that God had given me. Every woman, after I began to pull in and wanted to bring them on to what God was giving, a lot of women signed on to it, right? I let them know, look, hey, this is what God has told me to do. I ain't got buckets and buckets of money, but I'm planning to do that. And one of the biggest pieces of the vision was about women connecting with women reaching other women. And it was this bring in women, especially women, Black women, women that have organizations, women that have ministries, and put your resources together, and grow from that. And what happened was I found other women that were not Black women that wanted to, they was like, oh, we're excited about that vision. Let me join. But I had to stick to what God has shared. Not that I wasn't open to all women, but I had to focus on what he had given me. And guess what? The more I continued to trust God and to follow his plan, and whenever he told me to execute it, sometimes I would be like, oh, I want it this way. I want it this way. And clearly he would say, if you want to do it, you can do it. I don't want to do anything without God. It doesn't matter. Sometimes I can have 10 people at an event. Guess what? God is going to always move. He's going to always provide. And even in the midst of that, the Lord will turn around and bless and allow us with that small group of women to raise thousands of dollars. So the Lord let me know that it's not the number, it's who you bring in the room. And it's because of your obedience. And so as you execute, when you think about executing the vision that God has given you, whether it's a business, whether it's your family, whatever it may be, know that you have to make sure that you're ready to put that action to what you are being told, what you have seen. And as Kelly has mentioned, as Marquisa has said, that fear piece with going back to college. For years, I had declared I was going to get my doctorate. I didn't know a reason why. It wasn't even about a change of name. It would just come out. The words, the power in our words, can manifest things. Just like when God said, let there be, there was, right? And he breathed in us. So we have his breath. We have the ability to speak, hallelujah, life into things. And so I would speak it for years, but I was terrified of having to write a document that was over 200 pages. What would I write about? And I remember doing one of our Dunamis experience for Women Reaching Women. My husband walked up to the pulpit, and as I was closing out the event, he whispered in my ear, he said, you're going to have to go back to school, and you're going to have to do it afraid. I stood there weeping, although people didn't know. They was like, oh, she's so happy about the event. They didn't realize that I knew what he was saying. It was just, I had to agree with it. I showed up basically telling people I'm just being obedient to God. That's why I'm here. And in the midst of that, God has brought people into my life because I dare not be ashamed of him. I dare not be ashamed that he will establish what he has set forth for my life, the purpose of my life. And one of the things that Kelly said, and I am a true believer of that, if you are not a giver, if you are not willing to give, the first piece of leadership is service. And you have to be willing to give, not give if people show up. I've been doing this for a long time, even prior to that, as a pastor's wife. And prior to that, working with women, not everybody show up for you. I could show up in people corners in their lives and support their businesses. And I'm not talking about just physically supporting them, bringing other women to their events, bringing other people, connecting them so that they can be established as organizations, just like we are. We've helped establish women to be 501c3s. All of that, not to bring glory to myself for money, but out of obedience to God, because they're not the one that's going to give back to me. They cannot give me what I am intentionally shooting for, which which is a $1.5 million budget for our organization. They don't have it to give me. But guess what? When I give to God's people in service, whatever he calls me to do, not because I'm expecting them to support my business, because the reality of it is not everybody can be you. Not everybody is in it to really serve. And so therefore, when you eliminate that expectation and you're intentional about what God has called you to do, which for me, it is to mentor and impact women and cause them to connect in a way that we can all glorify God. So that's to execute.
What am I supposed to do with this? What am I supposed to do with this? Listen, I'm in this back room like, really? Really? Here we go. It's such, all of the things that you mentioned is so, it's such, I'm so full by this because some of the things that you mentioned are things that I wrestled with, and I'm quite sure those who are watching have wrestled with. You know, you put all this hard work into an event or something that God has laid out for you, and you know, in your mind, like you have an expectation that you know you have all the support. You know, you have all the support. Yeah, I know all these people and everybody clapping for you and all that. But when the day comes, where are some of them, right? Don't have the expectation, just do what God says,
right,
and be okay with that. The numbers don't matter. And self-talk, I mean, real talk here, I had to self-talk myself into that. Like, if I did something, the numbers don't matter. This is what God told me to do. Don't even look. Don't even look.
Right. Don't let the numbers stop you.
Right.
Because we do want women, we do want them to be blessed. Okay. But don't let it stop you, because the reality is I have a tribe. My tribe is my family, my sisters. I have biological sisters. I have sisters by marriage who show up, you know, and I have my daughters. I have women that, you know, they're going to be there. Even if they can't be there, they're going to be sending other people there. But of course, it's the ones that you help. I remember Bishop Jake said something to my husband and I that impacted our lives. We were pastoring maybe, if it was about maybe 10 years, not even quite 10 years. And he said, we were having lunch and he said something to us, dinner. And he said, you will know that you a pastor when those that you sow in the most, those that you love the most, turn around, stab you in the back and walk away. And you still love them. And I was like, oh no, not our church members. No, that ain't our church. A few years later, it happened. And it was about your actions. It's about your actions. Will you still love them? Will you still, when I have women that I've supported, I brought on my platform, they've never invited me to their platform. I'm not expecting them to do that. That's not why I called them on the platform. I called them because God wanted them to have that exposure. God wanted them to be exalted and move forward. And so when I look and see them prospering, I'm not like, oh, they ain't call my name. I'm like, yes, look at what you did, God. So we can look and see that there's a legacy in that. But the whole thing is when we realize that the gift that God has given us, the talent that God has given us, he's only loaned it to us. And just like those ones that buried those talents, that was a shame, that didn't do anything because they only had one. I realized when I first started, I didn't really have no budget. It was the money. Right now, and I haven't told my board yet, but we are having grants that are rolling into us. And those things that I've been wanting to do where it's not costing women, where we want to support women that are starting their business or doing their businesses. That's what it's about. So it's not about lining our pockets, because the women that are on my board, they are phenomenal women. They are very educated. They got it going on. So it's not about us pocketing the money. It really is about pushing women and empowering women to where they're supposed to be. And we're already in Africa. We're doing it in Liberia. We're doing it in Ghana. So our reach is far. I don't know what God is doing, why he's having me pause and do this PhD in the midst of us relocating and moving to North Carolina. So we sold our home for 18 years and building down in North Carolina. I don't understand it all, but I do know that God is the master of it. And he is just wanting us to put feet. He is wanting us to carry it out fully.
Yes, fully.
Completely into effect what he called us to do.
I love it.
Oh my God.
Make me jump up out of here and run on.
I was taking notes, right?
Listen.
You see me, right?
This is crazy. So, yes.
Can I just share one more thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm telling you, Kelly, when you said that giving piece,
Mm.
I was done because women don't understand that. I have women that I've contracted to come into our experiences, what we call them, and I don't, people be like, how you write a contract and you promising people, giving them 500. Before it was like, y'all, I had no money, I can give you 150. And then I had people like, I was like, look, you ain't ready yet for this. So now when I can write contracts and be like, we can give you 500, whatever, people like, how you do that and you don't have no budget? I said, because number one, I'm not going to undersell what they're worth.
Right.
Now, some of them that be talking about thousands, they ain't there yet. They think they're there, but that's okay. Yeah. God bless them. That's okay. They're not, when I say they're not there, we're not able to bring them in at that.
Right.
So the reality is when I've watched God do this, he's like, I want you to show them that what you could do when women come together. And then I'll get there. And sometimes they're not all nice. You know how we can get. But at the same time, the Lord said, tell the women to bless them. This is after women have paid their conference registration.
Mm-hmm.
When I've watched them raise, and I'm not talking about hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women. I'm talking about maybe 50 women, 75 women, raise thousands of dollars. Wow. And we sow on top of what we had promised to give them. Wow. That's God. It's not about, we could keep all this in our budget and we could do this. Mm-hmm. And now I'm watching God because I've been intentional. I'm getting this money. I'm getting all these billions of millions of dollars that's out here to help us.
Yes.
God has been people grants that I didn't even know about was sent to me.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love it. I love it. I always used to say you can't be a good leader without serving first. Okay. It starts there.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's about giving of yourself. You got to pour it out. We didn't get filled up with the stuff to keep it to ourselves and the things that we can do. Some of the stuff we do so easy, other people just can't do sometimes and things like that. So, yeah.
Yeah, that's that part. We can't be a good leader without it's an example. We got to give, we got to serve, we got to do all of those, all of it. Listen.
That's the execute part is service.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot execute. I don't care. You can have I've seen people have a well-written vision, all of that strategy, all of this, but if they don't know how to execute it, communicate it, walk it out, they're not going to be able to bring others in. And you cannot do it by yourself. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, the Lord said, put yourself on payroll. And I said, oh no, I'm not putting myself on payroll. We got things to do. He wouldn't let me get away with it. And he was like, just a little bit. I was like, oh God, I'm stretching. I'm like, we could use this money. I was like, I'm gonna give it back. And the Holy Spirit convicted me. And I'm telling you, that was the door that opened up so many opportunities because I needed to have paid staff to get some of the money that we're going to be getting. Right. But I didn't know that. But because God said it, it wasn't in my plan, but because that faith piece, that execute whatever you
Mhm.
tell me to do, God, I'm gonna execute. I may not understand it. I may not think I can show up.
Yes.
Yes.
Like, take your team. I'm like, pay for the team, get the team
Yep.
there.
Yep. And it doesn't have to be a lot. It's two things that just came to my spirit. I just want to add, or is that when you talk, you and Marquisa both mentioned the word communication and communicate, right? And for me, because I don't necessarily lead a team at the moment, for me, well, in my business is a very small team, but you know, a lot of people are like, make moves in silence. No, speak it into existence. You're supposed to speak that. That's
That's good.
action, right?
Mhm,
So I just
mhm.
want to remind people of that too. Like, it's okay to say it because what's for you is for you. So if you say something out loud, does that mean somebody gonna steal it? Like, no, it's only one you, right? So
They're not
if
gonna do it like you.
That's the fear.
right,
That's the fear operating because, you know, I understand when the Lord calls you to be silent, but there's a
Mhm.
difference. Like there's times I'll declare, I'll be like this year, I said, we going to Atlanta. I started getting them Atlanta hotel. See, people don't understand.
I know that's
Do
right.
those events, do what we do, just the hotels and stuff can run you over $20,000. I sign contracts that's $15,000 to $20,000 every time we have an experience. And I'm not telling you that money is in the budget,
Mhm.
but because God said, okay, y'all going to Atlanta. People's like, well, why she ain't going to North Carolina? She moving to North Carolina. God said Atlanta. By now, you all should know what we're gonna do. Whoever the speakers are, you know, I know people that could tear the house down, and then the Lord would be like, bring them in. I'll be like, are they even saved, God? Look, he like, you want to do this? Nope, I don't want to do it.
You know, God
Mhm.
used some of the raggediest people. Right.
Right, because he want to bless them, and we've been in a position when you said that you've been the underdog. That's who God used. Because I was the underdog.
Absolutely.
I show up and people think, well, she ain't got it all. She ain't got all the glam and have it all together. No, I don't. I come in. This is who I am. But guess
Mhm.
what? I have God.
Mhm.
God.
Yes.
I need people, all that, don't get me wrong, but with God,
That's
he
right.
said in his word, nothing to fail.
Nothing will fail.
Nothing.
That part. Nothing will fail.
Woo,
Can I,
execute.
is it a t-shirt that says that already? Listen, we've been telling people all week, drop them shirts, drop them t-shirts, them
Yes.
slogans. Listen,
Mm,
nothing will fail.
nothing.
I just had to take a Selah moment because this here is wearing me out. Listen, I don't know. This bun about to pop off. Not
Let
that
it
this,
pop.
let it pop.
Right.
All this hair is not going nowhere. But
Mhm.
my God, ladies, my sister friends, y'all added more fire. I don't know. Those of you who have been watching day after day, y'all need to be on the floor somewhere. If I wasn't on camera, I'll be swirling in my chair and twisting and turning because you have spoke tonight. God has absolutely used you mightily in your own way, your own style, your own journey. All of it, your transparency is has not fell on deaf ears. Absolutely not. And God is absolutely pleased with all that you've shared and all that you've poured out on tonight. So listen, heart it up, everybody, for my sister friends, Apostle Jeanette, Sister Kelly. Listen, this has been a phenomenal time. I am so grateful for both of your yeses. And I'll tell you, I know y'all busy. Look, I'm busy too, but I was like, wrestling this group down was rough. Took me all out of my comfort zone. I'm like, I like to bring everybody together and have these conversations so everybody can know each other. Nope. All that had to go. Listen, they said yes. That's settled.
Yes.
And let God do the rest, right?
If I give you my word, I'm gonna show up.
Listen.
That's it.
Praise God. Praise God. I'm thankful. I'm absolutely thankful. So Listen, if you have questions, does anybody have any questions, comments that you want, any questions that you have for Apostle and Sister Kelly? Do you have any questions tonight? This was powerful. They dropped some serious gems. Let's get in their business a little bit and ask them how they got over. Now they shared some.
Right? It's a lot. It's a lot to share.
It's absolutely a lot to share. And if you don't, that's okay. You may need to marinate on this, because yeah, I'm sitting on stuff. I have a notebook. And sometimes y'all was dropping them so fast, I was like, wait a minute, like it's on other pieces of paper. It's getting crazy. It's out of hand. So I gotta organize these notes, and so I can go back and really think about all that you shared. I am super empowered. I know that I'm recharged, and this, for me, this was for others, right, who are struggling with executing. That they might have the plan. I know a lot of people, they're like, look, I got it, I have it right here, and they just can't put legs to it.
Yeah,
they can't put feet to it, and so all that you shared, my prayer is that they will now be equipped to take the next step. Seeking a support system. We have coaches, we have mentors that are around who have been dropping all week long. And we want you to truly connect. Do not sit on this information. Share, absolutely share with those and on YouTube, share, because there are people who need to hear this, absolutely need to hear this. So I guess Apostle, Sonia is asking, what city in North Carolina are you? And she's in that space.
I am in, I'm moving. Well, I'm in Charlotte right now. So I'm on outskirts. We're building a home in Huntersville, which is north of Charlotte, northwest, but this is a suburb. It's Charlotte. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. You mentioned an event, is it an event in Georgia?
Yes, we have our Just Live experience, and it's going to be in October. And I'm excited about it. We have a couple other things coming, so I want to make sure the women get a chance to participate in that, because we're going to give away registration for those women that are participating for you this week to participate in our walk. And it's a stretching thing. But in October, we have our Just Live experience, and we will be having a speed mentorship event. And so we're going to be bringing women in that have been doing businesses in different areas, and our guests will be able to come and go through all this rotation of speaking to mentors so that they can move into what God has called them to. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
I gotta follow you on. Are you on Instagram?
I'm on Instagram.
Oh, I have to follow you.
Put you on the Facebook. I'm going there because I'm like, wait a minute, tell me about them pillows.
Listen, I was listening to you talk about your house. I want you to know I travel. I will definitely get on the plane.
He travels, absolutely.
Like this. Ooh. Yeah. Oh my God. I've been down here getting in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Good trouble though.
Yeah.
Good trouble. Absolutely. So the gifts will make room. The gifts are making room. And I'm just so excited for the connection. I'm just grateful. But so we spoke about, we heard so much, and we also talked about, giving and serving, right? And these ladies, my sister friends, have poured out. Now is your time.
Yes.
Absolutely. Don't just take this and just stuff it in your pocket. Listen, please, this is a time seriously to give, to sow into Apostle Jeanette, and to sow into Sister Kelly. Their Cash Apps, I believe, are going to pop up on the screen. So Kelly is $ Plot Twist Design. Absolutely. Now, y'all know how fast that go on Amazon and all that stuff. I'm gonna keep using that analogy because I'm quick with the trigger. Pop,
yes,
all the time. Right, buying something. So this was rich. This information will carry you a lifetime. This is not just for today. These gems are sustainable, should sustain us throughout this journey from vision all the way through impact. Amen.
Amen.
So absolutely. Now, also please, so to Apostle Jeanette, $ WRWG2014. It's on the screen. If you can't write it down fast enough, y'all know y'all quick with your phones, take a snapshot, but make sure that you so I'm not leaving any room for excuses. So absolutely, please so, because they definitely have poured out. And so I'm just grateful for those who have been following us for all 3 days. This has just been impactful, empowering, and encouraging along the way. So listen, we are going to, if there are no questions that are popping up, we're going to call it a night. We thank you so much. But I do want you, when we do go off, there's some information on how you can connect to Apostle Jeanette and to Kelly after the fact. You need to connect with these women. So you'll see their contact information there. You'll also, those who may be new to even Elevate Leadership Enterprises, there'll be a way for you to sow there. There'll be a way for you to connect with me if you need leadership development, you need strategy, you need to help execute your vision. I'm your girl. So so absolutely pay attention to the outro as well. So I thank you all so much. Be blessed and have a wonderful night.
Thank you.
Believe it'll come to pass.